Hello and welcome to Wikipedia Weekly Network here, where Albin Larsson and I, Jan Ainali, is editing Wikidata Live. Hello Albin, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well. I've had a great day outside today in sunny weather, and based on the next week, which it will be rainy, I will do a lot of wiki stuff actually. So I'm looking forward even for the upcoming week. And how are you, Jan?
I'm good as well. I've mostly been prepping different things today, so I've been out a little bit, but it's not great weather.
Right.
What will you be doing today here? So because I guess we both are on the team Wiki Loves Earth start today.
Yeah, exactly. So first day of Wiki Loves Earth, all through I have taken pictures for many months. I will be doing a bit of statistics around how many of the nature reserves in specific areas have images. And I'm gonna do this now at the start, and I'm thinking I will follow it up in a month to see how much it changed.
Very
And you?
nice.
Something Wiki Love Surf as well, I believe?
Yes, I'm gonna try to query commons for images that has participated in Wiki Loves Earth previous years. So, but first I actually want to follow up from last week because I showed how to query Wikidata to make maps on Wikipedia, and we did that on stream, and then I went in and put it in a few articles, and then I actually found a few tricks while doing that and learned a few more things. I want to show what I learned from last week, so we can, for you people who saw that, you can pick it up. So let me share my screen here. So here's a list of nature reserves, and here we can see one of these maps that we did. And if I click the map, we get it here in full screen. And if I click something here, we get this very nice. But this is not how nice it looked last time. So this is a bit nicer than the last time. And I'm going to show you what I did, because one of the things was that we always got this link in red. And that seems to be a bug. It's filed in Fabricator, but there's also a workaround.
I don't think we even had a link. That was in between.
I think we had a link here, but for a thing like this, we didn't get the link. So we only got the
that
link
as well
when we had the image.
Because I think we picked item label here actually, but then on Sunday you did a fix and got the red ones, and then
perhaps
after that you picked
yeah. So either way, so I'm going to show you the few small things that I improved here. So we'll go back out of here again, and we'll go into the edit wiki text thing. And it's kind of small, and unfortunately here we have everything is on one line. But I'm going to zoom in once more. I zoomed in the wrong window. That doesn't help you at all. So I'm going to zoom once more, and this time in the right window. All right, there we go. So a little bit larger. Can I deactivate this? I don't want the red squiggly lines. They are disturbing now. Check. There we go. Thank you. So last time I used this thing, description, which is a sort of a magic word for cartographer, to actually show it any text in the card that pops up. But that one actually had one more thing as a magic thing. It has the title, which meant I could split the label thing and the image thing to be independent of each other. So if it didn't find an image, it didn't cut everything out. So that's a useful thing you can do. So you have two magic things there to bring into your cartographer. You can use both the title and the description, and it will automatically pick it up. And the other little thing that was the little hack is by adding sort of this hard-coded interwiki link or interwiki prefixes. So W for Wikipedia, SV for Swedish. Even though I'm already on Swedish Wikipedia, it removes the red link. It shouldn't need to do that, but that's a bug that's filed, and the workaround is to actually specify it, and then you get the blue nice link. So I guess that's most of what I improved from last time. Yes. And now we have them, we have been working a little bit on Swedish Wikipedia. We have them in most of the list of nature reserves. Not all of them, because some of the counties have bad coverage on OpenStreetMap still. So it doesn't make a lot of sense. So that's from last week. And now for this week, I'm going to head over to the Wikimedia Commons query service. And it's always hard to remember this, vcqs-beta.wmflabs.org. And I'm going to try to write a query to get all the images from, I'm going to do for the Swedish Wikipedia that has participated in Wiki Loves Earth. I want to show them on a map, and I want them colored by year. So there's a few things. And here's a few steps that you need to do to sort of keep in, like keeping track of where you are. So I'm going to start querying Wikidata. So you can construct this query in a number of different ways. But I'm going to do that because I first want to find out what are all the Wiki Loves Earth contests that has been in Wikimedia, been in Sweden. So, and that data is on Wikidata. So I'm going to start with that. And then I think there's various kinds we could also do this query, but I've found that it times out if I do it what I think is the most intuitive way. So I had to find a workaround with the subquery. So you're also going to see a subquery today. And the subquery is going to be the one from Wikidata. So I'm going to start with just a simple select here. I know what I want from here is Wiki Loves Earth. So I'm going to call that parameter WLE. And then here's a shortcut, because I want to show this on a map, and I want to color it on a map. And when you color something on a map in the query service, you have the magic word layer. So I'm immediately here going to call it layer. So this is something that I want to show. So the layer is going to be by year. So that's what we're going to figure out. And then I want to, so the VLE thing is something that is, and I looked it up, and this might vary by country, but the Swedish contests are in series. So let's see, part of the series. And Wiki Loves Earth, and control space to give you this selection, Wiki Loves Earth in Sweden. So I'm just going to start running this and see what we get. So 0 results. Oh no, you think, what happened now? And it's because we're on the Commons query service and it doesn't know of Wikidata. So I'll have to add Wikidata as a service here. And let's see. So, and that I'll need to do right about, so I'll go here. I'll add a service and https://query.wikidata.org/sparkle. And if you don't know this one by heart, can we find it somewhere? Is it under prefixes here?
Perhaps? I don't think it's under prefixes, but heading to the examples would probably be the best way.
I guess if you go here and type query, you'll find something like this one, and it will have, hopefully, the similar line here.
Exactly, right.
And then you also see here you have to put it into these tabs or curly brackets. So we'll go back here and do it. So after the service and everything here. Up. Like that. And now hopefully we do get something. Yes. So we have 6 items here. And now as the label, I want the layers. So we'll go back here. We'll go for the regular service. And we'll take the second one, the label service here. I only want English for today. And here's also something similar to cartographer. You'll actually have to assign this, and especially now when I'm calling it layer. So I'll go with the VLE, and then you call the RDFS control space for label and give it to layer. And we'll see what we get now. All right, so far so good. I have 17 to 21. So going back to here, so I'm going to start from the top now, because this is going to be something that is in the middle of the query. So for my map, I want to select coordinates. So I'll call that chord. I want to select the layer that we just created, and I want to select an image. I think no, we can also select the file to have a link to it if you want to go with it. And then I'll use the with thing to put all of this that I just had as a subquery. And I'll actually do this a little bit nicer here with indents so that we can see where we are, like that, and save that as something, WD for Wikidata. You can call it whatever you want. And then we'll go to our where clause in our main query, and we'll include the result from the first by calling it like that. And now we want a file that has been labeled with structured data to be a participant in one of these contests. So we'll go for participant, better if I can spell participant in event. So this one, and ELE. I wonder if I run this now, what we get. Let's try it. So 4,463 results seems good. We don't have the images or the coordinates yet. So we'll go with an optional for the coordinates, the file. And here's a tricky one. If you've been on Wikidata, you maybe even learned that P625 coordinates is coordinates. But for images, we are actually using something else. So I'll start writing coordinate. And the first one is the P625. But what we actually want here is coordinates of the point of view, P1259. That's the thing where we're actually recording where the photo was taken from. And that one will save as chord.
So I think you demoed it once previously, many months ago, that we actually have many of those coordinates.
Yeah.
Which makes it really possible to draw a lot of lines and such.
Yes, yes. Let's see if that yields any results. The same 4463, that's good. And we see that a few of them actually have points as well. So what we want to do now is to also get the image here. And here's where we're going to go to the examples again. And we can see from here, because there's a little bit of a hassle right now to get to the image. So there's 2 lines I'm going to copy from this example. I'm going to copy this one, which is actually getting the content URL. And then I'm going to copy the last line, which is formatting for the query service. So we'll just grab this. And these are in most of the examples because it's so often that you actually want to do it.
Yeah.
So we'll get the file here, and then we'll go back here and we'll get this entire line.
It would be really nice here if we could just call like schema image instead.
Yeah.
And they would actually have this.
And there's something filed in Fabricator for it, but yeah, they haven't gotten around yet. So let's run that and see if we do get anything popping up. Yes, so now we'll actually get something here recognized as images as well. So the only thing left to do here is add the default view map to go directly to the map. And now let's see if it. And
nice.
So here we got a colorful image. There's something in this image that is strange. I can't see it, but it centers strangely.
Indeed.
So there might be some data in here. But as you can see here, we have these colorful dots for Sweden. And if we hover over here, we can see they are 17.8. Not in order for some reason. But if we unclick, we can see these are just the last year. No photos from this year has gotten their coordinates yet, or rather, they haven't been imported into the query service. And that's done Tuesdays?
It's done Tuesdays, and I don't think that structured data is added to new contributions currently. There will be a bot run to do it.
Yeah.
So,
but I think that those bots are getting quick, because nowadays when I'm out taking photos with my cell phone, you actually see it coming later the same day.
Yeah, I just don't know the plans for the specific Wiki Loves Earth one. So there would be a specific one to do that type of participant in.
Yeah.
Not sure when we will see that. I haven't seen it yet.
So this you could try to do for your own country as well. You'll have to change this Wiki Loves Earth to other things. But as of this afternoon, when I tried this out with other countries, only the Swedish one was actually modeled to have the years connected.
Oh.
So there's some work to do for other countries. Even if they're connected in other ways, I don't think they all have their subqueries for each year yet. And I think, as always, when you have maps, you see immediately some strange things, like here in the middle of the water. This is obviously wrong because it's from somewhere here around, so there's manual typing of the coordinates of something like that has gone wrong.
Or device actually that use the.
It doesn't seem to be in the EXIF.
Okay. Because I can imagine that some devices use the IP address, and those might have completely made up coordinates.
Yes, but they're usually not in the middle of the sea.
Usually not, but
no.
I have seen strange things.
Yes. I was at a conference around here somewhere on an island, and they borrowed their Wi-Fi from a university. So when you were hooked up to that router, all your Google Maps thought you were close to that university.
Right.
Which made you jump around on the map. That was strange. So I think these were the things that were on my mind today. I was expecting a little bit more complications, because when I'm doing this here on the Commons query service, and especially when you're using this, it can be a bit tricky to sort of troubleshoot your own things because debugging your query. But here I actually managed to do it slow enough. Hopefully you now. Let's see. I had troubles with this as well. I was hoping to share this, but Firefox can't open this page. Sorry. Yeah. Oh, Tiny. We're blocked.
I wonder what you have done.
Is it me? Or the service?
Now I want to try it out.
Let's see if someone else can manage to do a tiny URL. Can I shorten this somewhere else, perhaps, so that you can try it out?
I can do it from the Commons Query service.
You can do it.
Yes, and I can actually do it with your query as well, because I should have it lying around.
Ah, yes, you might have it in our Telegram.
Yeah.
It may not be formatted as nicely, but it should be usable.
Oh, interesting. Actually, when I do it with your query, it's blocked.
So there might be something in it.
Yeah, there's something in it that triggers it.
Yeah. So let's see if I can do it from somewhere else here. I'll try another. If I'm logged into Bitly, can I do it then? Bitly is changing their paste long URL. Great. All right. Copy. And can I find my way back to, let's do it like this. Perhaps also show it in the banner. But it's a little bit tricky to see, but I put it in the comments as well, so you should be able to click it. No, it didn't go out to Facebook, so we'll have it hanging here. All right. There's apparently some major rework being done on the Facebook group platforms, so streaming to them from external platforms are apparently a bit adventurous right now. All right, but I guess that was all from me today.
I am muted, right? I intend to get a bit of statistics of the various regions in Sweden and how well the nature reserves are depicted on Wikidata. So I essentially want to get a list of them, and then the percentage of how many do we actually have depicted here. For example, if where I live we have 20 of 100 done, then it should say 20%. So let's see. Maybe we can turn it into a competition, trying to change that much as possible. As I said previously, I want to follow this up at the end of it.
Is there any other way to sort of to see the snapshot from today other than sort of export the data, or because in a month we cannot go back and run the same query?
No, I will actually make sure to download the CSV for this purpose. But no, we don't. Imagine you need to take the dumps, like the historic dumps.
All right, yes.
And index it yourself. But
yeah,
it would be super cool if we could do something like that and have that type of historical data exposed in Wikidata, but I don't see that happening anytime soon because it's already, we already got size problems, so to say.
Ooh. Nicholas is saying there was a tool for that, a Sparkle endpoint based on dumps. Yes, that would be pretty cool.
I'm just gonna start out. So let's think about what we need. We need the region first. So I'm actually gonna head over to Wikidata to see how that's modeled. I'm just gonna go to my own and see. Now the city is gonna be named it, but we also have the municipality here. And I essentially here, because I want to select all of them, I want to check what's the instance of here. So it's municipality of Sweden. And I'm just gonna assume that this is very well modeled. Because I think it is.
Yes, I think so too. It wasn't for a while ago, but right now it
No,
is.
I have a somewhat of a memory that you and
Yeah.
several authors have spent time on it.
Yeah, that might also have been a part of the live stream in the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it might have been here I picked it up.
Yes.
It would make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So I just want to 290.
That's correct.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
Still good then.
Now, for each of those, I want the nature reserves. So, item VDT is located in administrator entity or guided in, and we should get it here, right? And I do not want to pass on item here. I want to select something new, the nature reserve. I'm gonna call that NR for now. And here I want the item to be. So if this matches one of the municipalities, I want to get it. But that would give me just everything. And it actually works because I, by accident, tried it. It won't time out. But we can do better directly and say instance of. And then say nature reserve. And I think there are several ones, and they are modeled slightly different in different countries.
They are.
But for this particular case, we want this one. And also in Wikilove's Earth, we do not only have the nature reserves, we also got like nature monuments as well, and a couple of other things. So that should give me all the nature reserves. Let's see, I think this might take a while. No, it went actually really fast.
5,000 something, yes, that seems likely.
That seems about right.
Yep.
But now we got this problem, so we want to count all of them, and we want to count all of the ones without images. And that is not super obvious. It wasn't for me. I had to try it a couple of times until I found a good approach. So we could select like nr underscore images and say vdt item and say image there, and then count both of them. But that will actually time out in my experience. And so I won't do that. Instead, I will do something different. But I'm gonna start here with just selecting the image. And I will make that optional, of course. Enter for the nature reserve, vdt image. And I don't actually want to select the image. That isn't important to me. So I will just say that this can be anything. Having done this, I actually want to count them. But first, let's grab some labels here, because we will actually count it up here anyway, so we can't use the select star anymore. So adding the label service, just doing the good old autocomplete. And I'm particularly interested in the item label. The nature reserve itself won't be a part of the final statistics. Okay, so now we need to count first the simple one, use the nature reserves for that particular municipality. And we do a regular count here. Count the nature reserves nr as tot for total. Makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
So let's go with that. Can run this.
You need some
We
group.
got the bad aggregate. I always get the bad aggregate.
It's still grouping.
Yes, and I do group by. Let's see. It's gonna take a bit of longer time.
Oh, 7 hours ago.
It's up in 7 hours.
Well, still better than 7 days.
Have we had that? Or yeah,
commons.
it's commons, right?
It's more or less the same. Or going up to.
It's a bit of a tough day today. I think the final query, I have run it a couple of times today. It's about 40 seconds. So I'm hoping for the best here.
So this will give us 290 rows with a count on each row. Yes.
Hopefully.
Yes, hopefully. if it works.
Oh, it went. Oh, but it's gonna be tough today, actually. And we got a few
fine.
less. I imagine they don't have any. It makes for an interesting query, but it appears to be pretty much working.
Yeah, that might be possible.
Yeah, so I'm gonna leave that as the explanation for the moment.
Yes.
Okay, but now we actually need to count the ones without an image, and we have just selected that as an optional. So what we actually need to do here, and I found out this is a bit of a trick. I think there are much ways to do it, but I found this the easiest, is I will actually count the distinct images. So because the things that won't be declared will be empty, so we can do it. So I only want the images that are unique. So I'm gonna do select the image here. I believe, yes. So I want to select count distinct image. And that will essentially say that you shouldn't count all the images, you select the unique ones. Because if I count everything, it will actually count the empty fields as well. But if I count a distinct one, I will only get the unique ones. And no one might think, hey, but what about those empty ones? Won't they be counted? And we would need to put a -1 here. I have found that it doesn't do this, but it surprised me. So I will leave that out.
All right.
And
there might be something with the distinct that actually washes it up or clears it
out. I'm not sure. I don't know anything about it in the formal SparkQL specification, but it might be something implementation wise, or I have missed something. That is also very possible. So I'm gonna call this not taught. Let's call it taught images. And now let's hope for the best that it won't time out. It might, because we are actually very close to this one. And then we might need to try some optimization. And let's see, hope that I also did not make a mistake, because that would be very annoying if it takes long time.
Seems good.
Yeah, let's hope for the best. Otherwise, I have an optimization in mind here.
All right.
So a bit of a problem here is here where we select. Oh, it went. It went a little faster as well.
All right.
Let's not go into that.
All right.
So this seems like it could be very true. I think it's true. I live just next to this one, so I'm pretty sure that's true. Yes. Which isn't a great review for me personally, but yeah. However,
the number there was the number missing, was it? No, those
No.
who already got it. All right.
So only 2 got it here in Flen, which has 17 in total. So terrible.
Can you scroll down to Skövde kommun? Only 2 got
Only
it.
2.
But
this is the Wikidata. So Wikidata items has an image.
Yes.
So it does not necessarily represent what we have, for example, in Wikipedia and on Commons.
Yes, that's true.
Which is something to note. But I think otherwise we really has to do like give me everything in Wikipedia that has an image, and we could get that coverage up by a lot just by looking at what we have. However, now we've got an interesting problem here, I believe, because we're doing this count in the select, but I actually want to calculate like the percentage.
Aha. And which is very good because that's just a wish we got.
Exactly. Oh, that's great.
That's great.
That is actually everything I want. I want the item label and the percentage in at the end. But I can't do it within this select because I actually need the count here. I can't do the count inside of the query. Otherwise, one could use something like bind and count, but that's not possible. So we actually need to do something similar to what Jan did. So Jan did a federated query, but he also broke it out into a subquery. We will break this into a subquery, but a slightly different subquery. So there are 2 ways you can format it. You can do that type of with query, and you can actually just do something like this. So we start a new one here, like this. And then we take all of this, we add some new wings here, like that, and paste it in here. And then we can try this diamond and see if it can format this for us. Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Oh.
And this actually...
That was a new thing for me.
The diamond usually works on basic queries, but when you start doing advanced one, it will kind of be darkened out like this one. So it's a super neat trick. It doesn't do it exactly as I wanted. But yeah.
Do we have a coding guideline yet on?
I wouldn't want to be the one who started that.
No.
So this actually allows you to use whatever you find down here. So here we can actually get the top and so on again. So to calculate the percentage, we can actually use a bunch of math in SparkL. So I want to bind a new variable. And here, let's see how you do this. A bit of what should be basic math. Let's take the part. Should it be? It's split in the whole, the total, I believe, and then times 100. I very much hope this is correct.
Looks good.
As percentage. I hope I spell that correctly as well. I usually don't.
It works.
No, we can select first the item label. So that's the multiplicity. Like that. And let's run this and hope for the best.
And then you could order them to see which ones you need to go to first, or which one. In either direction.
Ways. Yeah. This is how you plan your holiday.
Yes. And I guess if we get Gotland to be 100%, it's correct. No, not 100.
No.
I was thinking it's just one municipality, but it has so many nature reserves. No.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, it's getting faster and faster.
All right, that's good.
Maybe people are leaving because they are watching this. So we've got a bunch of 0, but we also got a couple of Orchard ones.
Oh, we have 100 there. Sundbyberg.
Yeah, I think there are a couple of ones close to Stockholm which has 100.
Yeah.
And it makes a lot of sense.
I think the ones that are, since they're only 287 and instead of 290, the 3 might be small municipalities in Stockholm that doesn't actually have any nature at all. Because there's like 20-something municipalities around Stockholm.
So let's do what Jan just proposed and order them by descending, so we get the best ones first, the one with the highest coverage. And let's do it like that.
Yes, here's also, it depends on who lives where, because this isn't really fair, because Gotland has like a high density of Wikimedians, and that also brings the total people being affected up.
Indeed. But as I said, I think this is how Wikimedians should plan their holidays.
Yep. And now we ordering it that.
Yeah, I don't think that should. I mean, it isn't that many. It's like 200.
Yep.
It should be really fast.
Oh, so Nicholas, did you take any from nature reserve so you can participate in the Wiki Loves Earth? Oh, there's plenty with 100.
Yeah, I know that you visited one, Nicholas, at least one.
All right.
Yeah, so we got a couple of ones, Stockholm, but we also got like Malmö. I think this is mostly city.
Malmö might only have 1 or 2.
Yeah. But yeah, we got a couple of additional ones here. Let's see where we should plan our holidays then. So I got
in the bottom.
Pretty good. Yeah. Hope my better half agrees to this.
So
there are plenty of options.
Yes. Oh, did I miss it in Torsås? I went past there before Sweden was in Wiki Loves Earth. Unfortunately,
right.
I remember now.
Yeah, this is just next to me actually, so I should be able to. I think it's only 2 or 3 in this one, however. Okay, we got a bit to the north.
Oh, we also had Hammare there, and I think they have only 1 or 2, so that could be a day trip for a Wikimedian in Karlstad, if you're listening.
Indeed. Let's add a total as well here to see where we will get most value for our trip. Oh. Some of them might be very large, however.
This gave me like an idea for a query. I want to take images that have been, but they can't have participated in both, because you upload them. It's the upload month that counts. But we could possibly query for things that have nature reserves depicted and also depicted some monument.
Yeah. That's actually how I plan some of my trips.
Efficient as well.
So let's see here. So yeah, we can see that some in the top has very few, even 1.
Yeah.
Got one with 7, one with 9, one with 11, 14. So some are pretty good. This one has a ton of them.
But also a few. Lund is a lot of Wikipedians in.
Yeah, indeed. Let's see if somebody.
A fun query.
Yeah, let's see. Oh, we got one with 22 that has 0.
Yes.
And it's not
down there.
44. Yeah, but it's a large one, I believe.
Yes.
Size-wise.
Yes.
So, 26. More 26. Yeah.
You said you could do a bit of math. Is it possible to do rounding as well? Because now you have this very long thing.
Let's see. I think there is actually a round. It appears.
All right.
I don't know if it takes more. It might round to the roll, but that might be fine here.
Yeah.
So let's try it. it might also take a separate. No, it shouldn't. I think this should be how it is. And while we wait,
all right, and working hard on Nyköping, so we'll have to do a check now before the next upload to see what the status quo was.
Indeed. That reminded me I should download this as a CSV
yes,
for myself because I want to compare this. So it's rounded now. Yes, it's very much rounded.
Nice.
So I'm gonna share this query.
Oh, you got to with your own Wikidata.
Yeah, but I'm on Wikidata.
Yes.
I'm on Wikidata. Gonna. There we go. Have fun.
GQC.
I even see we got quite a bit of time left, so I want to try something. This is very experimental that I wanted to try for a while.
All right.
But let's think about what if we could link to author queries from within the queries UI. That would be great. So I want to try to do that. For example, here, I want to be able to click on this and see all the nature reserves in an author query.
All right.
So it's very experimental. 15 minutes.
Sure.
We're gonna see, or a little more.
Yes.
So I'm gonna open a new query for now. And let's see. Do we want to copy something? We want to have
copy the basic stuff.
Pretty much this. We want to have the nature reserves in multiplicity.
Yeah.
And you got to see some very experimental stuff. So here we select the nature reserve. We actually would have this defined. So I want to do. Let's do used one. There we go. And let's do the inner. Actually, I want this to be a very short query. So something like this. And then I want to do here. Let's see what this gives us.
You don't have it.
Maybe this should be the trick used for the experiment. This would give me a nature reserve, I hope. Yes, it does. That one doesn't have an image. That's on me. So I'm gonna make this as short as possible here. You're gonna see why in a moment. So because I essentially want to make this query within that author query and actually link to it using this. So that is some space I can't remove, but I can remove quite a bit of space here. And that space I should be able to remove as well.
All right.
Yes, but I think that's it. Not very readable, but so let's bring it in here. And I want to do it here. So I select the item, which is the multiplicity. Let's build it up here. So we want to bind. We essentially want to create this URL. So we want to put, whoops. I'm going to put this string in here for a while. This is what we want to replace. The QID for. Actually, because the VD, you know how that stands for Wikidata/entity. So I can actually remove all of this. And I should be able to just inject, the URI itself. Something like that. And here I want to concat all of this. Concat that one, something there, and this last part. So here we would do, let's think about it. We want to do the item, which is the multiplicity. But that would be a URI, so it would be this full string with the entity and everything. So I want to just turn that into string. But I do not want to care about the prefix because you can see this, which means I'm essentially saying, hey, this is a long URI. We might see that when we try this out. And then I also want to convert all of this to URI so it's clickable. I think I showed that a while back.
I lost.
You're lost?
The last one you showed it.
Oh, in the last one even.
Yeah, I think so.
That's great.
And I think I showed it in the one before that as well.
Oh, nice.
So
here we are binding this made up your query. However, we do not actually want to query. We want to query URL. So we actually want this part. So I want to move this here and we want to identify where we had the multiplicity in this. Today we got one, there, and let's bring this back and let's do the change there so we actually are working with the URI. I'm gonna add the prefix here to help me. So I'm gonna click add standard prefixes and I'm just interested in the first one, VD. Because this is essentially, VD is just a shortcut for this. So I want to replace that with not exactly that. So I want to put it here and wrap it in these ones. These ones in SparkQL, the bigger and smaller signs, just says that this is a URI. So let's run this and make sure it works. It does. We still got 20 results. So I'm gonna copy the URL up here, which is what we need. I'm gonna replace the one I wrote here. And now let's see. So it's this part we want to change. I'm gonna add those just temporarily to know where I am. Gonna steal this part into my very long line here. Because I want to make sure I'm copying the URL directly to make sure that all of this URL encoding, all the percentage signs and so on are correct.
Yeah.
So that is why I do it this way, while it might be less obvious to those who view this. And we want to replace that last one. But now you know kind of what it is in practice. So I'm having that query there. And while you can't read this, it's essentially just what should be needed. Hopefully, we won't need to URL encode this. Although I think we can do that in SparkQL. So let's make sure we also select query here. And we need to also select query in this orchard. Query we got. And I should probably have tried and experimented with this on a query which doesn't take.
You took percentage again.
Oh.
Stop.
Query. And did I do the same here? No, there it's correct. Let's run it. Server error. That's a great one. Let's see what it says. Illegal. Yes, so it's a bad aggregate, I think. Isn't it? Yes. I think.
Yes.
Yeah, it appears like that. It's not always that transparent. Ooh. That's super fast. It looks very correct.
All right, so if you click this one, we expect to see
that query.
The one single, and if you run that one,
it doesn't. It seems to have added
another one.
Yeah, it seems to have duplicated my URI.
Do you have a WD too much?
You know what? Because it's very clear here. Here I got the string of the entire URI of the multiplicity, and I actually left it here as well. So if I go to this one, I just want to make sure, yeah, we can see I don't have that sign there. So I should remove everything from HTTP down there. and nothing here at the end. So let's see if I can do that on the first try. HTTP down there.
All right.
And let's hope for the best this time. And it seems to be getting faster and faster, this. I wonder if there are some cache changes. Because that was really fast, for example. Okay. Let's hope for the best. It appears to be looking very good. And I can actually run this. Nice.
So that's a work list.
Indeed. That could create very interesting workflows. Now you could do this with really large queries as well. We could, for example, already do I want to have the label. So let's do, I think we should be able to do this within some reasonable time. And our label, and we want the label. There we want the label source. And that one.
Nicholas also say you can link the result URL instead of the code query, so you don't need to run it.
Yeah, exactly. So we could go here to link and short your, no, actually. So I think it's hidden under embed result. That particular link. But let's see if we can get this to work. So I'm trying to strip the various parts of spaces I can. That seems to something like that. It's not super important. So we were only expected to get 2 for that one, yes.
Yep.
And I'm gonna pick the URL here. I'm actually gonna make it a comment temporarily here to easier being able to work with something like this. And I'm gonna head over here, copy the QID so I can find it here. So I can see here that it was everything from HTTP to the end of the QID. I'm gonna add those 2 temporarily. Copy this first part, replace this part here, head over here, and let's see if I can get everything somewhat easily. Yes. I'm gonna replace this second part. You can see that it's starting to get complex here. And let's run that. Let's see if it gets even faster now. In the meanwhile, I'm gonna create a short link for this. Right, it's long. I'm breaking the view for you instead. I won't do that. Let's click one. Let's run it. Get 4 results for this one. Yes, this is super, super interesting. And for example, for this particular query, it would be super nice to have like which of them does actually not have that image. So it could be super useful for that. For example, if we see that one has, you would end up seeing that your multiplicity has like 92%. You want to know directly which ones that doesn't have a photograph, and you could just click a query here and actually see it. So that was what I wanted to try, and it seems to work pretty well as a proof of concept.
Yeah.
I'm gonna share this URL with you so you can play around with this type of query. And there we go.
Yeah. And Nicholas says here also, it's in the embedded result, and it's not very hard. Like if you click on the link embed result there,
yes,
you can actually see the little difference that there is.
So I click on it and I can
scroll down a little bit.
Here.
You see that it's the embed HTML hashtag. That's the difference.
Yes. You know what? We should be able to just demo this super quickly because it's much simpler than I remembered. So embed result, we can actually make this a little larger, it appears like. Let's see if it...
Only lets you copy everything. That was not
it
nice.
it wants me to copy everything. I'm gonna temporarily put it up here.
Yes.
Then I'm gonna scroll to the start. And I want to select this part. Embed.html, I think it says.
Yeah, you need a hashtag as well.
The hashtag, but I think we got the hashtag right. Yeah, we got it in the default.
All right.
So let's go back up here and just put it in here. And that should do the trick.
That should do the trick. Let's see if it does also. It doesn't break anything. That's good. Good sign.
So let's see what happens if we follow this one. Let's pick a new one. Go down a bit.
Now we should go directly to the results.
Yes.
Yay!
So like that, we could make this super nice workflow. And I imagine, especially when we do like maintenance queries of various kinds, this could be a very nice way to do it.
Will you reshare the URL to this, the short query to this?
Yes.
So that people have it. This was, and of course now we do it for Nature Reserves and Wiki Loves Earth, but I think this is the first time we're creating a query on the fly, so that might be useful for anything that you want to do.
Indeed. There's also something when I earlier today made this particular query that I started to show. This was something that, this would be really nice.
Yeah.
And it turned out I had the time to experiment today.
For so many different wiki projects that could use this.
Yeah, very much so. And I imagine we could make like super complex queries sometimes, which could give us this information as well. But this might just be simpler for so many use cases.
Yeah.
And it's not a lot of work either. I mean, that's one line of extra SparkQL. And it might seem and look like a lot of work because it's very complex, but it's essentially copy paste and really being sure that you copy the right things.
Yes. No sloppy copy and paste here. No.
Right. I think that's all for today. And that link you see right now, it's the updated one.
Yes. So 3GQP. All right. So that's all for today. And we'll be back on Saturday, the 8th of May. Yeah. And until then, not only happy editing, but also happy uploading for Wiki Loves Earth.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.